Hi guys, welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. Today we're doing High West, their new high country single malt whiskey. It's a limited supply, it's not everywhere yet. It just showed up here, so I'm finally getting to taste this. Now this is a 2021 release. It is all High West distillate. It's all theirs, no sourcing involved. All their stuff. And their thought process behind this was, let's make an American scotch. Basically, pay homage, whatever you want to call it, to scotch producers in Scotland and make a distinctly American single malt. So, this is 2 years old. It was aged 2 years in new American oak, then finished in French oak port and Oloroso sherry. So not sure how they broke that up, if they did some barrels in Oloroso, some barrels in port, or if they blended and then did the aging. Don't know, doesn't say. I looked online, I couldn't find it. So we know French oak and port and Oloroso sherry. So I assume then afterwards they did a blend of those barrels to get the desired flavor profile. Now, if you look up online, the tasting notes for this whiskey are ridiculous. It's a ridiculously long list. So I'm curious to see how many of those I can suss out nosing and tasting it for the first time. So let's just do that and let's see if I get any of this. I mean, it's crazy. Look at this list. I mean, holy crap. It's a list of notes. So, let's see. Let's dive right in. Oh, son of a bitch. Damn. I just got like 6 different notes instantly. Let me see if I can noodle through them. Cinnamon tobacco for sure. I could go raisins. I could go figs. I could go honey. I'm getting a little bit of leather. Now, leather's not on the list. I'm getting a hint of leather. That's really tripping me out. I'm getting a bunch of these notes. There's definitely apple. There's definitely like a graham crackeriness to it. There is a flowery note. They call it lavender. I don't know if I could put my finger on it being lavender specifically, but there is a hint of a floral note that kind of feels a little more honeysuckle to me than lavender, but it could just be the honey notes throwing me off. I don't know. Definitely some vanilla. A hint of banana bread, like cooked banana bread. My wife makes that with chocolate chips. I could totally see that. Tarts. That is a super complex nose. Wow, that's really incredible for a first approach on a new whiskey. It's just over 2 years old. We don't know how long the finishing period was. With the new TTB rules, they could include that in the barrel age. They're not doing that. High West is still going off of the new American oak, the original maturation. They're going off of that age. They're not adding in the finishing age, which they are now allowed to do. So maybe in future bottles of this, we'll see that. Don't know if High West is planning to do that or stick to the traditional aging methods. All right, I gotta taste this. Oh my gosh. So much of the nose transfers to the palate. That is shockingly good for 2 years old. I get apricots on the palate. I get the granola notes I could almost, if I stretch, I can get the marshmallow note. Or definitely get the citrus. They call it lemon peel. I was thinking more. It's slightly tart. So it may be really tart lemon, but I was thinking more like a sour orange kind of feel to the palate on that one. They say Honeycrisp and sourdough on the finish. Let's see if I can find that. I can almost see the sourdough. There is a bready note on the finish that is kind of sourdough-esque. I don't know if I don't think I get the Honeycrisp. I get the dry, they're calling out walnuts on the palate. I do get the dry waxiness, but I probably wouldn't have said walnut. Because the flavor doesn't really remind me of walnut, but it is dry and waxy, so that's probably where they're getting that. The finish is a bit dry. That's one negative for me. It's medium to long finish. It leaves you with that waxy, dry, slightly bitter after flavor for the finish, but that's shockingly good for a 2-year-old American Single Malt. I wonder how this thing does, giving it some time in the glass. I literally just cracked this right before I pushed play. That's outrageously good. That's shockingly good. I expected it to be decent. I did not expect it to be this good. The fig note really starts to show up. It really starts to sing with that like fig Newton kind of dried fruit inside of a breadiness. What a great note for calling this whiskey. Wow. Okay, guys. If you like Scotch, or if you are in the bourbon camp but curious about Scotch, I would recommend grabbing this bottle. It's really good. It's really interesting. It's super complex. I'm going to have to try this again when I have more time to really sit and play with it. Wow. I don't think I ever told you. It's 44% alcohol. So not super proofy. It's around this right range for a Scotch. So if you're curious about Scotch and you're in the bourbon world currently, I would recommend trying this. If you already love Scotch, you're going to be really impressed with this. You're going to be really surprised and impressed. There's no peat. There's no smokiness to it at all. Just a little bit of tobacco note. And interesting. So happy to have this in my collection. Thank you to Inlet Harbor Liquors for helping me get this bottle. He got his hands on this for me. And thank you to High West for putting out awesome stuff. And for taking up about at least a third of my entire collection. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, have a great day.